So I feel like every salesperson that I speak to lately has this weird feeling that they're falling behind. You open LinkedIn and somebody's talking about a new AI tool, then there's some sort of another workflow, another prompt, another founder telling you this changes everything. And after a while you start to wonder, am I already behind? Because honestly, I don't think you are. I've been in sales for more than a decade, and one thing that I've learned is that every few years we convince ourselves everything is about to change. Cold calling was dead, then email was dead, then social selling was the future. Now it's AI. Some things genuinely do change, but the core of this job really doesn't. At the end of the day, somebody has a problem and they're looking for someone they trust to help solve it. That's pretty much always been the case with sales. Customers don't buy because your email was a little better or because your prompt was a little bit more sophisticated than the other person. They buy because they believe you understand what's going on in their business better than anybody else. I remember being on a customer call some years ago where everything looked like it was going our way. The demo really landed well. The decision makers were super engaged, asked a lot of questions. Budget didn't really seem like it was an issue. And then somebody casually said, we tried something like this a couple of years ago and it was a complete disaster. That completely changed the meeting in a lot of ways. We barely talked about the features after that or the product. We spent the rest of the conversation talking about what exactly went wrong the first time around and what is it that we'd do differently. They weren't really buying software anymore. They were trying to avoid the same mistake twice. If we had missed that one comment, we would have completely missed what they actually cared about in the first place. That's the part of sales I don't think is ever going away. Curiosity, listening, asking one more question instead of jumping into your pitch, picking up on something that wasn't really on the agenda but ends up being the only thing that actually matters to the prospect. No framework really teaches you that. No AI tool does it for you. That's experience, empathy, and paying attention. Again, don't get me wrong, I love AI. I use it every day. I've said it before, it helps me research companies, prepare for meetings, organize my thoughts, get rid of a lot of the repetitive work that nobody enjoys anyway. If you're in sales and you're not using it, I genuinely think you're making your life harder than it needs to be. But I also think people are starting to optimize the wrong thing. They're so worried about learning every new tool that they're forgetting to get better at understanding people, prospects. And if everyone has access to the same AI tools, and eventually they will, the advantage isn't really going to come from the tool. It's going to come from the person that's actually using it. So if you're sitting there like myself and you feel like you're falling behind because you haven't really learned the latest AI workflow, I'd stop worrying so much. Learn the tools, absolutely. Use them every single day. But spend even more time learning how businesses work, how the space in which you operate actually operates, how people make decisions, how to ask better questions, how do you earn trust? Because that's what customers are actually buying, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.